What is going on, y'all? Doing something different. We're gonna do the brake rotors and pads on this BMW e46 335i. It'll work for XI, CIs, 325i's, all that. First thing you want to do is break these loose and then get this jacked up. And these are going to be a 17 mil, if you were wondering. Alright, so we got the car jacked up. We're just using the stock jack that comes with the BMW. And once we get this off, we're going to take the tire and put it underneath just in case this does fall. It will land on the tire instead of us. Alright, so we're going to take the tire off and stick the tire underneath just for safety reasons. And looking down here, we got this little this little metal piece right here. We're just going to one. Woo! Alright, so after you get that off, there will be 7mm Allens back here on these, and these are the dust caps. You'll take these off. Take your 7mm Allen, it'll go right in there, and you'll bust those loose, and that'll make it so you can get into the, ooh. Yeah, crack those loose. Alright, so after you move those two, you should be able to get in here. You want to, there's on this side, on the driver's side, there will be a brake pad sensor. Mine's probably broken. This little thing. These break really easy, so you're gonna want to take that, get that out of the way. And you're also gonna want to get a rope or a bungee cord or something, put up in here so that you can hold your brake caliper on, because it's just gonna. You want to pull that off? Should just slide out. Yeah, wiggle it a little bit. Alright, so once you get this off, it just slides out. Wiggle it a little bit. And the reason we got this here is so that we can push this through, tie it up, just so that we're getting enough room to work with and not putting tension on that brake line, because they get a lot of dust. They tend to crack pretty easy. So after that, you'll pull out your pads, and there'll be some 16 mil. Yeah, there's 16 mils back here. One here, one down in there. You'll bust those loose, and after that, this will come off, and you're pretty much there. Alright, so we've already got the bottom bolt off. We just got this top one left. After I do this, this probably should just drop down. Come on, out of there. Alright, so that would literally drop down if I didn't have someone else holding it. You're going to want to lube up these little spots in here on the other side. My bad, yeah. These little shiny spots you see. Maybe scrub them down with a brush and then hit them with some anti-seize. And then, and anti-seize all these little areas and all the bolts that go in here. And then next, we're just left with the rotor. And that'll be a 16 mil Allen. And we're pretty close to done. So once we get that out, you can pretty easily pull these rotors off, usually. If not, tap it with a hammer or something. Move it around a little bit, and then it should come right off. This is what you're left with. Old nasty worn-in rotor. And I actually need to replace my ball joint. You can see it moves incredibly. That is super dangerous. Alright, so we got the new rotor. I'm just gonna slap it on there. squeeze a little bit of. So we got a little anti-seize on here, and we're gonna just throw this in. The person who did this before really fucked these up. Get that about hand tight just so I can move my hand off of it. And then tighten the sucker down. I don't have a Torx. You should probably use a Torx so that you can get it down to the actual foot pounds. But I'm just gonna get it down super tight where I know it's not going anywhere. That's that part. And then now it's just reassembly. Pretty much doing the same thing you did to take them off. So what you're going to do is just get this back in place, get this first top bolt put in, this bottom bolt twisted in. And you just tighten these down. Tighten those down, and then next up, brake calipers. So next, if you're putting on new pads, just take this pad, fit right into this little small baby groove in here. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but see these little teeth go in there. So get that off there. And set it right back in here. Get our other pad in there. And kind of just feed it on there. And took my fingers off. Once you get it to there, put these two bolts back in. A little anti-seize on them. So once you get those into place, the little screws, you'll just, once again, I don't know the torque specs on these. You probably look them up. I'm just going to get them down to where I feel comfortable with. Tighten them down. And you're almost there. Last thing left to do is put your little caps on back there. And then put this in on here. Get your little clip in there. So after you've got those nuts put back in, tightened down, this little spring put on, put these little dust caps back over the back, put your tire back on, and you're in action. Torque your lug nuts back to spec, and you're done.